Well, I hit record.
All right. Well, I'm not looking it up now.
You can look it up. Look it up, dude.
I don't care now.
Oh, it mattered a minute ago.
Yeah, but the people don't care. Is really what it is.
I don't care either. I didn't want to talk about it. You
Well,
brought it up.
yeah, I was down to talk about it until now.
All right. Well,
And
now we
you're
got
not.
now we have a lame intro because we were just talking and rambling.
I don't think that's a lame intro.
I hate Brian so.
You guys' cameras. Well, actually, your looks okay. Brady, what kind of camera you got, man?
I just got the MacBook, man. That's all I got.
That's cool.
Whoa.
Is that your kid?
Yeah.
Son?
Wants another treat.
What's your pup's name?
Bonnie.
Bonnie?
Bonnie.
Bonnie?
Bonnie.
Yanni? Hey, yeah, so welcome. Simple Man Wrestling, we're back. When was our last podcast?
Dude, it's been a while.
A month ago, I don't know. Jeez, at
It's
least.
been a while.
Do you guys know Dom Mazzetti?
Yeah.
Brady, you know Dom Mazzetti?
I don't think so.
It's like bro, I can't remember his
It's bro
brand.
science. It's bro science.
Bro Science.
Yeah.
But he's like, new videos whenever I think about it. Like he doesn't really have like a consistent week to week thing. It's just whenever he needs to make money, he just posts a video.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're like that, except we're not making any money.
Yeah.
Facts.
Sean's just in it for the money and the fame.
Pretty much.
So you guys want to talk about state?
Let's talk about it.
You want to talk about do you want to go chronological?
Let's start with the team and overall kind of stuff, and then we can go into like a weight by weight breakdown. I got the brackets up.
Okay.
What Brian, did you anticipate Buchanan to win? Was there any teams in the top 5 that kind of surprised you?
Yeah, I thought, what was I gonna think? Yeah, I thought Gilroy, like honestly, if they would have brought Moses Mendoza and they would have brought the other Merrill, I think they probably would have had a really good shot at winning it, which sucks. And interesting tidbit, Moses, I thought he actually quit. That's kind of what the rumor was, but he competed this last weekend, so he did not quit. I think it was just a tough spot for him to make the lineup at that weight. You know, which again, it's unfortunate because you got the Cortez brothers. You know, I think one of them, I think the smaller one actually could have gone down and would have been fine. But what I hear is someone from the outside, a parent, wanted to keep them close together for some weird reason. But you know, unfortunately, it cost them possibly a state title.
Yeah. How many points do you get for being a champ? Is it like 20?
I think 32.
32?
I think
with
it's,
advancement points.
I thought it was 30.
I think it's 28 to somewhere like that. I want to say.
I think it's 30 with bonusing though.
According to the California Wrestler,
Hold on.
I think it's 32.
I have
Pull young Jamie and pull it up.
one.
Yeah. So if you get first, if you're ranked first, you're expected to get 32 points. It's theoretical points earned by individual wrestlers. Yeah, I mean that's what it says in the California Wrestler. And then second, 27. So if you're a finalist, you get 27 points.
So that, I mean, you add that up. What is that? 54 points?
You could get a total of 30. How much is a major? 1?
Major is 1 extra point. Attack is 1.5, and the pin
You
is
can
2.
get a total of 36 then.
So if you just put their base points that they just got was 32, or was it 32 you said? Or 27?
Yeah. So if let's say Merrill and Mendoza, if you would have put just both of them in just with base advancement points, all decisions, 64 points, what was the difference in the team score?
They would have won state. They were down by 50.
Yeah.
244 to 194. That's crazy.
I mean, even if they just had them make it to the finals.
Yeah.
or even place like top 3 or 4. I mean, that's probably a state title.
Yeah, I
It's
said it.
frustrating.
I said it at state during the finals. I think Gilroy wins state next year as a team.
Maybe.
I'd
So
say-
I mean, I have insiders now. I've made friends.
Now?
I have insiders.
Didn't have them before.
Huh?
You didn't have these guys before. You only have them now.
Not before, but you know, I wouldn't say I'm sneaky. I'm just very good at making friends now, altruistically, of course. But yeah, I got some inside scoop. But I'm not going to reveal my source. But from what I know, like it seems like, you know, there's 2 coaches that are kind of behind that are kind of running things, and DC is just so busy with his UFC schedule. I haven't said this on the air, I don't think, but my opinion of DC, I think, has changed. I'm not as much of a hater, I think now. I'm more neutral because I think he does do a lot of good things for the sport. I just think there are times where, you know, I get frustrated, or I think maybe other people get frustrated because there's just decisions that are made that maybe we wouldn't do, you know, but I think that's just, you know, a coaching thing.
Understandable.
But I guess he's pretty controlling, even though that he's not there. Like he wants things done a certain way, and carried out a certain way. It doesn't really give a lot of freedom to the people that are actually there. So I don't know. I mean, that's kind of what I got. There's more, but I'm not sure if I want to air it out right now.
We got all summer, so
We got all summer.
Well, what
And
else?
there'll
What
be
else?
more.
Any team surprises in there? Anything? I think everything else held pretty true. What, Poway second? They had a good.
Clovis was ranked, I think, 3rd going in. They got 4th, right? Or did they get 3rd?
fourth. Yeah.
I think
Um,
something that Adam Tirapelli talked about, I want to say on the California forum, was that the top 7 teams from Buchanan down to St. John Bosco at 7 all had, you know, over 150 team points. The gap between 7 and first was about 80 points. Like that's a large margin, but that's also a good amount of space. The gap between 7th and 8th place was 70 points. So there's a huge drop off after St. John Bosco in the 7th spot. Yes, there are tough teams below that, but there's a significant drop off in team points, placers, and all that kind of stuff outside the top 7. So
what's interesting, like if you look at I think BHS is, you know, just a good example because I mean this is on paper the best team they've ever had, right? And they finished 5th, and they've won a team state title before, right? I mean, you know, for a long time, I mean, they were one of the premier programs. They put up 166 and a half points at the state tournament, and they get 5th. That's kind of nuts.
That's
Like you have to be so good. You know, how many finalists or how many state placers did Buchanan have? 10?
yes.
I mean, 10 state placers, 244 points. That's a lot, dude. And they had 4 finalists, and you know, they didn't get a champ, but that's still a lot of freaking points.
Yeah. Yeah, BHS left some points on the table too. I think they had a 3rd placer that was seeded number 1.
Yeah.
Herrera,
I mean, Bo Priest ended up getting 3rd. I mean, that was a big one. Him coming back and getting 3rd. Stanley, I'm not sure if Adam Stanley was ranked that high to get 3rd.
Yeah, he got 3rd.
Did Murillo get 3rd?
I think he got 3rd.
And then
Stanley
Montero got 3rd, and
Priest.
he was, you know, expected, I think, to get 1st. So,
Yeah,
Murillo.
4 3rd places.
But then they had guys like Christian Herrera who didn't place, the other Priest brother, the other Simmons brother. So yeah, I mean, and from what I understand, most of these guys at BHS are coming back.
Yeah.
yeah. I think they only graduate. I think they only graduate out of this group. They graduate Weimer, they graduate Montero, and I think there might be one more, but I'm not sure if he's a starter. So yeah, I mean they only graduate a couple guys. You know what I know is coming, and you know I like those guys over there. I mean they, you know, their youth club isn't quite secure yet. So I mean they have a lot of talent right now, but there's going to be a drop at some point.
Well, speaking of
And
drops,
that's when Frontier will rise.
do we think, speaking of drop offs, I've had this conversation with a couple people now. Do we think Palm Desert, who finished in sixth place with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 placers, 165 points? Do we think they drop off after the Montanona brothers move on to college?
I don't know. Is there another Montanona?
I
Not that I know of.
not that I know of. I haven't seen him on the youth circuit at least.
Yeah.
But this year they graduate Bo Montanona, obviously state champ at 152.
Count.
David Alonso, 7th place at 160, and then Eric McCown, 3rd place at 170. So that's 3 placers, 2 in the top 3. They still bring back Herrera, 2 times state champ at heavyweight. They bring back Barbosa, who took 6th place at 145, and they bring back Little Montanona, who is obviously a state runner-up. So it's still going to be a significant team next year, no doubt about it. They also have, is it Tabor at 106?
Tabor's 120, I think, and then 106 was Eric Ramirez.
Yeah, and then they got one of the little Guillermos as well. I think the older one graduated. So no, it's still Palm Desert's going to be a really tough team again next year. I just want to know if the Montanonas, when they move on to Michigan, I wonder if the dad one sticks around to coach Palm Desert with the family, like he's kind of doing right now, or
Like
if
if his son comes back and coaches
Yeah.
with him?
well, Anthony is back, unless you're talking about Bo and Brock.
Yeah, I was talking. So, so Anthony's the dad, but Anthony is also the oldest son.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I know he's around. He's done competing?
Yeah, the one that graduated from Oklahoma.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
They have 2. There's another one, Troy. He was the one in the corner for the finals as well. He also went to Oklahoma.
Yep.
So there's a few of them out there.
It'll be interesting to see if they keep it rolling and keep coaching and see, because I think Palm Desert could be super successful. Kind of their own unique location, but they've obviously shown that they can produce wrestlers. So I hope they keep it up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, as long as they don't get their guys pulled away to locations up north.
True.
I kind of want to talk about. I mean, do you still want to talk about the? I kind of want to talk about the juice, man. Before the tournament even started.
Oh man,
Give me the juice.
Dude, maybe that's a new segment, right? That's a new segment on the show.
the juice.
Juice of the week,
Let's go.
Give it to me.
right? All right, we're juicing juice of the week. First segment. Yeah, Aiden Valencia missing weight, man. So I think we already talked about obviously when we were there. But from everything that I heard, apparently the check scale I think was on carpet, which I think does play a factor. But I think he weighed in maybe 0.4, 0.5 under. And when you do that, right, if I'm 0.5 under, I'm not sure if I do that at state, but like, okay, the check scale has got to be pretty close to that. I mean, I might take a sip of water. I might have a little bar.
Yeah.
I might get a little banana in me.
From what my boys on the team said, it was about 0.3 difference between the check scale and the actual scale. I think on the internet it was going around, it was half a pound difference, but I mean, nonetheless, I think it sucks that there is a difference. Like you said, it might have been the carpet thing. Who knows? Unfortunate. I mean, it looks like it's going to get a little ugly with all.
Yeah, I don't know. The only thing that could trip them up is because they literally sued. They sued the school district. They sued 2 different school districts. They sued Allen Paradise. They sued I forgot who else was on the list, but they sued everybody, you know. And I think the only thing that could get them in trouble, as long as they have like their paperwork, like all these scales are legit, they're all certified this year, because he missed weight on all of them.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't think anyone missed weight.
I heard there was a few, but I can't confirm.
I think there also was a few, but they weren't like
no big names.
Yeah, obviously top seeded wrestlers. But from what I heard as well is one of my athletes is in line. Weigh-ins haven't even started yet. Every weight has their own scale. They're all on a line, and boom, everyone starts to stand up. Weigh-ins are about to start, and from what I was told, Aiden Valencia is somewhere in the back and runs and pretty much cuts the entire line at 132 pounds. So puts him all the way at the front of the line and jumps up on the scale, misses weight. They have to stop weigh-ins, and he has to, check all 14 weights, or I'm sorry, all 14 scales, and still missed. And I think in my head, if he missed by 0.1, if he had just stayed at the back of the line and walked all the way up, he might have burned off that 0.1 and made
If
weight.
his body's hot, like maybe he had a workout that morning. Yeah, maybe if he was a little sweaty.
I mean, even just standing there and like just waddling up
Worry
there,
the weight off, dude.
that might still be enough to lose 0.1.
Yeah. Pretty
So
crazy.
so he just cut in front of everybody?
Yeah.
Dude,
That's what I was told.
yeah, screw that guy. No, I don't mean that.
I mean, it sucks if you truly are an athlete who was point whatever underneath the limit, get on the scale at weigh-ins and you're over. That sucks. But
Yeah.
If it was that much of a difference, I feel like it would have happened to more people.
That's what I think too.
Yeah, I wonder what the number was on how many people that miss weight.
Yeah. I don't know.
What do you think the controversy for state is going to be next year? Because we have 2 years in a row. There's a controversy.
What was the year before?
Bo Mantanona.
The Mantanona thing in the finals.
Oh, but that was at the end of the tournament. I thought you meant at the before.
So we had the end of the tournament last year, before the tournament this year. So something's going to happen in the middle of the tournament next year.
So I think next year, throwing it out there.
We have a fist fight?
No, I think we have a Gilroy Buchanan match in the finals that determines the team title.
That's a hot take.
I'm just
So
throwing it
hot.
out there. Throwing that into the universe. We'll see what happens. Check back in 300 and
Maybe a rematch of Toscano and
Cepeda?
no, not Cepeda.
Cortez.
Who's that? No.
Cortez.
Yeah, it was Cortez.
They wrestled in the final this year, and it was so
Was that 38? Who was that 38?
That was
Oh, that
26.
was 26. Yeah.
Toscano?
It was the first
Toscano,
match.
yeah.
It was the first match.
First
of
match
match
of the
whatever.
night. It was like a reversal situation with time, and then they were like, "Wait,
It was all messed up.
here's 2 and here's no 2," and then I don't know. I don't even know to this. Like I can't tell you what.
That one was sketchy.
Yeah.
I don't remember the sequence, dude. I blacked out. I was blacked out, man.
Well, I mean, that was minutes before. I mean, quite a few minutes before you were out there.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Should we just jump
That was
into
like-
into Brian's finals experience, or should we go to
No,
106?
let's go weight by weight.
All right, 106.
Wait, what did Frontier even finish as a team? I was looking on the team.
Honestly, like I thought
19.
I thought we left a lot of points off the board. I thought we
19.
should have at least finished around probably not past Walnut, but we should have gotten at least 3 or 4 more points. We had a senior at 70s who kind of got put in a weird spot. The only guy that Condon did not pin at the tournament was Brian Velasquez in the first round.
Yeah, I majored him.
Only got majored. And then Brian wrestled a kid from Los Banos is pretty tough who he lost to I think 2-1 at
Was it
McDowell's.
Borelli?
What's his name?
Was it Borelli?
Fernandez
Oh,
from Los
Fernandez.
Banos.
He is tough.
But one of the things that I think kind of challenged us is we're still waiting to get the MRI results back. He jacked up his knee pretty bad, and like just wrestled the whole season with it. So he was pretty jacked up. We had another guy, was a sophomore at 182s. He went 2-2. That was a big deal. But just some other guys like just wrestling silly. But I don't know. I thought we could have at least got 2 or 3 more wins, which would have put us, probably at 15th, close to Central. But it's okay. How do you feel like you guys wrestled?
Pretty good.
I feel like we wrestled good.
Yeah.
We finished 9th place as a team, which was awesome. Kind of wanted to achieve that top 10 status, but only 2 medals, and we left 4 athletes in the blood round. So that's really a stinger. 3 boys and a girl, but Yeah, I mean, we obviously could have had 5 medals in the boys division, and we only got 2, so it's tough.
I mean,
Uh,
that's kind of where the rubber meets the road a lot too, is that blood round, that quarterfinal round.
yeah, and I mean, at least for me as a coach, I've obviously coached a few blood round, matches in my day, just not at the state meet. So hopefully I got that.
Coached one last year, but that's about it.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Hopefully I got that tough skid though out of our system, and we don't have to experience that again. That was rough.
Yeah. I think we wrestled really well. I think some of our guys out wrestled their seed, which was
Oh,
pretty cool. It's just to make it to that point, which you don't want to depend and be like, oh, we did good, but you lost there. It's like we still could have done better, even though we did shock, we put our names on the map, I think, with some kids. We had a couple nice wins over placers at those weights. Just, when it comes down to those blood round matches, it's little tiny mistakes can make the difference. And, if you don't wrestle your best at those 5 minutes or 6 minutes or whatever it is, and you might not be going home happy. But
And 3 of our 4 blood round matches came down to a 1 score, sequence at the end of the match that we needed and didn't get. And part of that, I think, kind of carries over to, it's close matches, and it's obviously a high intense situation, but you still have to try to just go out there and get after it. I think there was too much feeling out in that round, trying to fill the other person out and wait around. I think we should have tried to get on it a little bit sooner and try and put more points up on the board quicker. Especially with a 1 minute first period in consolation. We try to tell our kids, hey, get that first breakdown in the first period. And a lot of those matches I think went 0-0 first period. So it happens. But most of them come back. Brady's right. We out wrestled our seed. Of those 4 in the blood round, there was a 9 seed, an 11 seed, a 22 seed, and a non-seed. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, I think you guys had a good tournament. I wish Klein would have punched his way through the finals, and obviously Beaumont Denono looked like he was just trying to just win and not really open up. And when you do that, guys find a way to get you. I don't know what you guys maybe were game planning, or if you want to share that. But I think, I know we already talked about that, the pressure of the moment kind of getting to him. And I think it did get to him, but it's just hard. You still got to score. You still got to take him down. You still got to find a way to turn him. You got to get out. It makes it tough. I almost think, when we have in the postseason, I know, like, you kind of said you want to open up and score. And I think, for some guys, you got to do that. I was listening to Chris Ayers at Princeton. He was talking about Quincy Monday. And initially, after his first match, he told Quincy, he's like, you need to open up. You need to go and score. You need to get after it. And then he actually kind of paid attention to the way Quincy was wrestling. And he was still in control of the match. He might not have been scoring a lot, but he was still in control of the match. And he kind of flipped it. And he's like, don't give him anything. So I think, it's like you kind of just need to fill out where your guys are. Some guys, it's like, hey, you need to open up more and go get an attack. And some of them, it's just like, hey, you're controlling the match. Just keep moving. Like, don't give them anything.
Yeah.
Don't let them get a chance to come back into the match.
That kind of reminds me, Kyle Dake, I think, like, he did a podcast or a video or something, and was like, he doesn't try to blow the score off. Obviously he can and does sometimes, but his like objective is just don't let that guy score. If I don't let him score, and then that's pretty hard to lose, which, I mean, has its benefits for sure. But I think that's his theory, is just like, let's just not give this guy anything, and then I'll win, instead of, hey, let's go score 15 points in a row. So
It's true.
I think we had a good game plan. It was, I mean, we got a little caught in a little crafty move there, and kudos to him. That was pretty slick.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
All right, let's go into it. 106. Anything that was super surprising? I mean, that this was one of the talks of the tournaments. Clarence Moore from Branham up in the Central Coast section is a state champ. For those of you who don't know, he's a senior. He wrestled his freshman year at Gilroy High School, where he medaled at state at 106 pounds. I don't know if sophomore year was spent at Gilroy or not.
Well, it was COVID.
Right. So I don't know if that's when the transfer occurred or whatnot, but somewhere in his junior or sophomore and junior year, he ends up at Branham.
Yeah. And then last year he was hurt.
Yes.
So so
Makes
it's Branham. You just say Branham.
No,
'Cause that's I'm a CCS guy. I know it's Branham.
Branham.
Bronham. But yeah, so I get one of my friends that lives up there. His son actually wrestles 106, and I'm not sure if they actually no, he did wrestle him, and it was a kind of a close score. Until he got pinned. But yeah, no, it was I think what had happened is that he actually, I don't think he competed a whole lot, right? He wrestled at the Overfelt, which is a pretty late tournament in the season, and then just wrestled league and wrestled regional. And I think they tried to do that strategically for some reason, which, I get, yeah, if you're hurt, you're banged up, but I'm not sure to the extent of his injury, if that was something to where like, oh, we're just not going to give anybody any options to kind of game plan for us and just show up at the state tournament and freaking win. That's kind of gangster the way that he did it. I mean, he beat he beat some good guys, some pretty good guys on the way to do it. He beat was it Lewis?
Yeah, they beat the 3, the 2, and the 1 all, and then after he beat each one, he said, "Number 3, no. Number 2, no. Number 1, no." And then he won state.
Yep. I'm pretty sure he was cutting a ton of weight. The kid's like freaking 5'10".
5'9".
I mean, that's where we're gonna get our 106 pounder next year. He's gonna be a senior and just be strong and mean.
Yeah,
just bullying people at 106. Is Klein gonna go 106 next year?
No.
No.
Did you see what he did after the finals? Or after he won?
Oh, you didn't see
it? He did backflip?
No.
He did the backflip, but he I don't know if I agree with it, but it's pretty savage. So he obviously after he won, immediately he's holding up to the crowd like, "I'm number 1. Who's number 1? I'm number 1." And then they go to shake hands in the middle, and he looks at Zinkin and literally says, "I'm number 1," straight to his face. And then he goes to shake the other coach's hand. I'm like, oh man, what do you think about that?
That's savage, man.
I didn't catch it. I didn't catch it.
Just like a fan, I think it's fun.
Yeah, yeah, it's fun.
Like if our guy had won and had said something to the other guy, I would be like, dude, don't say that.
Yeah, he did it all tournament long. I think when he beat Lewis, the 3 seed, he said oh, number 3, nope, because he was the 6 seed, and then obviously, unfortunately, he beat our kid, the 2 seed, and he was number 2, whatever. And then when he took out the 1 seed, yeah,
pretty gangster.
That was pretty crazy way he did that too. He has that weird Merkel position headlock, and he grips it and rips it.
Maybe that's again part of their game plan. We're just not gonna wrestle. We're gonna have a bunch of junk, and we're just gonna throw it at people and just get it.
Yeah. Sean, you got anything else at 106? Anything? I don't think it went. Nothing went crazy here. I think there was only a couple of surprises, really.
Yeah, the biggest thing was Moore winning it. Obviously, Abram took a tough loss in the semis after he was winning, gets that headlock, and then had to have a hard talk after that match. Like, hey, yeah, you want to be a state champ, you want to be in the state finals. It sucks to get caught kind of in that situation. I've seen it happen at state a lot. Guys get pinned, specifically in headlocks. But the backside is what determines, right? You could be like half of these college athletes and freaking default out of the tournament, take 6 and be sorry for yourself, or you can man up and come back and take 3rd. And he had to wrestle Sadu from Del Oro, who is freaking tough. That kid's gonna be
a freshman, right?
Yeah, that kid's nails. Beats him 4-1, and then gets the 3 seed Lewis from Clovis in the 3rd, 4th place match and just put it on him. I think 10-3 was the final. So Klein obviously went out, with some fire under his what, and freaking took what he deserved. And Yeah, it was good. It was great. I mean, tough to lose in the semis, but a great way to finish out the tournament. So I was
Yeah.
proud.
I don't think there was anything crazy. I think Hoover was like the 11 seed he placed. Aside from that, it was all pretty chalk. I mean, one through seven.
Valdez, was he ranked higher? Was he ranked like
He
third?
was 4.
Yeah, he took
Four.
a
Yeah, he got sixth.
He got
he
6.
lost to Lewis and he lost to someone on the champ side. Zinkin 7-6, and he
That
was
was crazy.
winning.
That was
He
crazy.
was winning that match. I don't
Blew
know
that
how
one. He blew that.
Yeah, he did.
He does that though. He fades. All right, 13s. Let's move on.
13s.
This
Yeah,
final to me-
Strada, learning, losing to Ramirez.
final was
Ramirez is
tough.
tough, dude.
Ronnie Ramirez is nasty.
I did not expect this result.
I
He's a
did.
walnut for sure.
I knew he could win, but I didn't think he would you know, do what he did in the finals. He put on a good show and controlled the whole match, really.
What was he ranked?
He was ranked number 1.
Was he?
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Even
Yeah.
though he lost earlier in the year, I think, to like a Buchanan backup, I want to say.
Ruiz.
Ruiz-
Ruiz is tough though. I watched him wrestle,
He's a gamer.
and he's like, yeah, he's pretty tough. He's a backup though.
Yeah, crazy. No, but everything else of this weight went pretty chalk again. I think Rivas and Korea were the only a little bit of a shockers, but I think were 9 and 10 maybe, or even.
Yeah, Lucio from Fountain
Ruiz,
Valley.
yeah, Golden West.
beating
Um,
Barca.
Yeah, I think Rivas, honestly, like, I mean, he was kind of another situation to where, he only really took some loss. I mean, you could argue he didn't really have that tough of a schedule, and that his hard tournament and regular season was Morro Bay. And I talked to his coach a little bit. It's David Meza, who we were teammates with for a little bit. Yeah, I mean, the kid's tough. He listens. He works hard. Yeah, and he's a gamer. He just got after it, and he had a really good. Was it Masters? I think he had a really good Masters,
Took
and
second.
he beat some tough cats to make the finals. But yeah, I mean, that was something I'm like, yeah, he could be a placer for sure.
Unfortunately, he took our guy out in the blood round. But yeah, no, he's a great kid. I think he's only a sophomore, right? So he'll be back. Respect to him. He brought it. That was
All right. Is there anything else?
Negative.
120.
120. What is 120 in Spanish? Uno veinte.
All right.
All right, I'll shut up.
I didn't hear
Yep.
that. So this was the final match of the night. I don't really know who.
You know why I think they did this?
Tell me why.
Because they were both state champs the year before. I think it's the only champ on champ matchup.
Ooh,
I went back and thought about it, and I think that's the only reason. That's the only reason I can think of.
that's definitely why, and that's definitely lame because there was way better matches they could have done.
I think they should have started at 60s and ended with Montanona, because if you think about it, like, there's kind of some story there. Like, he didn't, there was some controversy last year. He was the last match. The match before that, I mean, there's a story there at 45s. I think it would have been cool to end it there. And 60s also, I mean, it's still kind of it's still kind of a cool finals match. I don't know, because
I said 70s. They should have ended at 70s. Was my thing.
I personally was most excited for 38s and 45s. 38s, I literally said after Doc B, I said Dario Lemus is going to beat Brock Montanona at state. And then
Did he say that?
I did. I
You
did.
did.
I said it.
And then we all predicted it right immediately again before the match and we reaffirmed what was said after Doc B.
Yes. And then
I would have taken that bet against you, Sean.
45s, Root and
well, are we still going away to order? Or
Let's go weight order.
Yeah, but I'm just talking. We're just talking about.
You never
We're just talking
know.
about
Like,
what the
I
final
thought we were
match is
going
about.
chronological.
We're just talking about it. All right, we're just talking.
We're talking here.
We're just talking here.
There's some guys talking.
No, 20s was good. Cortez Quintero, the 1-0 match, just that's just two guys right there that just look like they're ready for college. Just really gritty wrestling. Nikkei Zinkin, who has Quintero's number, especially at the Doc B tournament, had a crazy match with him, 2-1 in the semis with Quintero.
Did you see that one?
Dude, he like throws him in last second. And I'm like,
Remember,
no
we were like,
way.
me and you snuck around because they kept kicking us out of the bottom, and we were trying to like watch the semis.
Oh yeah.
And what was the guy? What's the guy's name? He coaches at Liberty in Bakersfield or whatever. He was like
Paul Garcia.
Paul?
Paul Garcia. He kept walking around and finding us like, hey, get out, get out.
He was a hawk, dude. He's just like, get out of here.
On the Hawk.
Dude, that was crazy though. Quintero almost blew that match. He gave
yeah.
like a lat drop up with
Such
no
a bad
time
throw
left.
too. Like, I don't even know how you would let them throw you with that.
Didn't Quintero beat Nikkei last year at state?
I don't think
Yes.
they crossed paths.
No, they didn't cross paths last year. Quintero
Beat Cortez.
No.
Who did Quintero beat last year?
For state, Ronnie Ramirez.
No.
Before that, like in the semis or something. The semis or the
Well, it
quarters.
was Ronnie Ramirez in the finals.
Yes,
yes,
I know,
Ronnie-
but didn't
Ronnie
he
beat
I thought
Zinkin.
he beat like Nikkei, or he beat one of the
I think Ronnie beat
he beat one of the Cortez brothers.
Yeah, but it
Yeah,
wasn't
probably
this
did.
one. It was this.
It was the other one.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's all I was saying.
Um,
That's all I was saying, man.
yeah. Really
Anything
cool though
else?
to see two San Diego placers at this way. Billy Townsend from Poway and Jacob Jones from RB. We don't typically see two guys from San Diego place at the same weight. So that was
Yeah. And Jacob Jones placing, that's a big deal.
Well, he's a senior. He was round of 12 last year. He's been pretty much destroying and being the king of the lightweights in San Diego for the last 4 years, and he finally gets on the podium. So I know RB Rancho Bernardo is super stoked on that one, which
He's going to Air Force, right?
yes, yeah, yep,
Air Force.
good kid, good. 26s.
26s.
So this finals match was a little crazy, and I still don't know what happened. I don't know. Buchanan didn't do any crazy challenges this year like they did last year. They didn't have that magic. There was a couple instances where they didn't challenge, or they did and they didn't get overturned like the year before. I think they won every dang challenge. It
Well,
was
then
like,
the score clock.
There's no challenges. What do you mean? There's no challenges. There's no cube.
there isn't a
there's no
cube,
break.
but there is challenges. Trust me.
Just got to know what to say.
Do you remember the 2
Hey,
point down match
Mr.
last year?
Referee, you are silly. You need to
remember that?
change your call immediately.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, but I think it was in, gosh, maybe it was at 120s. It might have been Townsend versus Ray or Ray Harris or whatever for like Conti semis. And there was a questionable kind of takedown that decided the match, and in favor of Poway and Townsend. I think, and our other coach, Jesse, said he overheard Tirapelli, who was behind. He wasn't actually in the chairs. And he was like, don't challenge it. Don't challenge it. Like we don't have, like, we're going to lose a team point. So I don't know. They won by,
Yeah, maybe they got warned.
I mean, I know they did, but it's like they won by what, 40 points?
Yeah, just go ahead and take a couple team points. You guys will be okay.
I don't know. It doesn't seem like, I don't know. Maybe that's why they didn't, but I would have thought they would have argued that call in the finals, right? Would you? I mean, I would have.
Yeah.
They awarded the guy 2 points, and then they took the 2 points off the board, and the guy thought he was winning by 1 because he thought he had 2, and he wrestled a whole round thinking he was winning by 1, and he was down by 1. So I don't know. Maybe that's a little karma for last year's final in the finals. I don't know.
The wrestling gods don't lie.
Yeah.
I don't know how. Yeah, I know.
What do you guys think? Anything else?
Actually, Damian Alvarez from Selma, he was a returning state placer, wasn't really having the results this year. But if I remember correctly, he didn't really have the results last year either, right? He kind of stuck on the podium last year.
He knows how to turn it on.
Good for Pepe. I mean, Pepe and the Selma staff, good for them. That's fun. That kid's tough. He's a tough kid.
I think
Yeah.
this was like the deepest weight in the tournament in terms of
I
like
think so too.
top 24 guys could have all medaled and placed, in any order, really.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, I think so. So who got third? Did Simmons end up getting third?
No,
Fourth.
Alvarez.
No, he got fourth. He lost to Alvarez. Right. That's right.
We lost to Simmons in the blood round.
Simmons is tough.
3-2 match.
I was
Who is that for
surprised.
you guys? Was that that wasn't Wells, was it?
Waitos.
Whitehouse, yeah. Is he senior?
Junior.
Oh, junior.
Junior.
I was surprised that Lobato didn't place here. I know he lost.
No.
He
Who
lost
did
to Cortez on the top side. He got beat up by him, which surprised me a little bit. And then he got beat up by Herrera, which really surprised me. I mean, Herrera's good, but I mean, Lobato's he looked good, but I don't know. Maybe
Van Bieber didn't place either.
yeah.
Well, so that was kind of a weird situation because I think Van Bieber and Navita, I mean, both those guys, I'd say, you put them in another spot on this backside, and I think they're favored. Same thing with Luna. I mean, all those guys are pretty tough. I don't know. I did think, they just kind of maybe just got bad draw in the bracket in that end.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, this weight was deep. So if you
don't get upset, don't lose.
Yeah, if you get upset, you're facing someone. These guys are all good. Crazy. I mean, if you go back and look who lost in the round, the round of 16, those guys are
super tough.
And Bever lost. Navita lost. Who else lost? Is it Gutierrez? Is that coverage? What school is that? That's
that
not
was
coverage.
Central Catholic.
Central Catholic. That kid's tough.
He's tough. He's
is
only
that the one that's a freshman.
I think he's a freshman or a sophomore, I want to say. But yeah, I watched him at World Challenge early in the year, and I was like, this kid's gonna be good. And sure enough, I mean, he lost the match to place, but
yeah, I watched him at Zinkin. Yeah, he's pretty tough.
Yeah.
Who else?
That's it. Moving on.
32s.
32s.
This obviously was the weight where we missed out on our marquee matchup between Valencia and Zepeda. I think that would have probably been the final match of the night had it occurred. And then Zepeda just basically bulldozes his way to a state title with a tech fall in the finals. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean,
what happened in the quarters against CBO?
He got thrown
to his back.
Zepeda got thrown.
Yeah, Eusebio will throw you if you ain't paying attention. Threw him to his back, and then I don't know what happened after that.
He got thrown to his back. He got off his back, got an escape, a takedown, and then ran a vicious bar and stuck him. Yeah, it was pretty mean, but he got scared for a second. That's Eusebio's thing now. He comes out hot, like he'd rather throw you than know you for sure.
Yeah,
as Brian would say.
Couple things at this rate. You had so Eusebio takes third, who was I want to say the 8 seed. Obviously really tough kid, senior as well. Where's he wrestling next year?
Lindenwood. UD1.
Yeah. So he's obviously tough. He takes third. Joshua Hanna Hannon from is it
Arcata.
Super good kid. I've talked to him a couple times. He's friends with a couple of our guys as well from camps and whatnot. He takes 5th. I think he's still searching for a home, if I'm not mistaken. Because he's a senior.
What does that mean? Like for college?
Yeah. No, like he's homeless. He just walks
around. Dude, that would be a good.
I just wasn't sure if you were trying to pick him up, man.
That'd be a good one for your road runners to pick up right there.
That is. Yeah.
He's good.
And he's a good pickup. Yeah. I like him. And then Jacob Perez, that kid is freaking good, but he was hurting. Obviously,
banged up. Unfortunately,
yeah, he was hurt.
That knee pad thing that he had on was like this round. It was huge.
Hey, what about my dark horse here?
Yeah, you called it. Brady called this one big time.
Who's your dark horse?
Raby, kid who took 7th.
Yeah.
Called it early too.
I watched him throughout the season, and he had like close losses to some good dudes, and I'm like, this guy's coming in unseated. I don't know what he was, if he was even seated or not, but he upset like 5 dudes, and yeah, he had a good tournament, and he's only a freshman.
Yeah, he's pretty tough.
He's got 2 tough
Mhm.
brothers that were both. I think one might have been a placer, and one might have been somewhere close, but I think one of them's wrestling in college. I think at Clackamas now, but they're good. I like Botter here. He's only what, a junior? Is he a junior, Brian?
Yeah, Bowder. Yeah, he's a junior. What's interesting about Bowder and Perez, so they wrestled each other at our Masters tournament in the finals, and when I think we were leading Clovis North for 5th, and then frickin' they defaulted out, and then they shot past us because they got obviously the points now for a fall. So I'm like, crap, because he medically defaulted whatever in the last 10 seconds. So
Yeah.
I was like, damn it. But Bowder's a good kid. He's a hard worker. He gets after it, wrestles
I like
hard.
the way he wrestles.
Just a little overpowered, I think, against Cepeda. A lot of takedowns in that match.
Yeah. He only got a couple near fall there. I think it was all takedowns. Crazy. But I wonder where Bowder's going to go, because he moves really, really well. Like, I mean, in terms of watching kids wrestle at the state tournament, what do you think? Okay.
Yeah, no, fool. Runners up, cuz.
Meet
No, I
me,
better
dude.
move my hand. Still put it right there.
Put him at Bakersfield.
Dude, why not?
I mean, it would be
Well, Sharp's already there.
yeah. Me and Sean.
They were
I don't know if we want to.
Montoya.
I don't know if we want to throw CSUB shade on here, or if we're allowed to, but
I would rather just not even talk about it.
rather just not.
I would rather not talk about it.
Ryan, they need to change something. I'm
I'd
sorry.
rather not talk about it.
This
I don't
is
wanna talk about it.
respect. I'll support anyone that's in California wrestling,
I'm
but
gonna tuck my shirt in.
tuck it in, dude. Hey, check me out, dude.
Get off the bandwagon, Brady. I like Pendleton. I like Pendleton.
Dude,
Pendleton. I like him.
if Bakersfield would come out with NCAA gear, I'd buy it. Just like I said to Stanford, and
They almost didn't get any NCAA guys there, dude.
I know. I don't think Rich should have got in. He didn't
50th
deserve it.
year, 50th anniversary, 50 straight years of NCAA qualifiers. Almost dropped the ball.
I mean, good for them, and I was rooting for him, but I don't think Rich deserved it. I don't know.
He's hurt. I mean, I don't think he's had any. I'm not even sure who he's beaten this year.
Beat a
I
couple
couldn't name
guys
off the top of my
early.
head. I know he's taken some bad losses. I know he's hurt. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
All right.
We
Moving
need
on.
to say that for later.
Okay.
I don't know.
Anyways,
I would just
that'd be
say,
cool.
I think Bowder would be a great addition to the Roadrunners. I think that would be a quality recruit that they could start to
Absolutely.
build a formidable team with.
I'd recruit him.
Absolutely.
I'd recruit him.
Recruit him up. Hit your
I don't
boys
coach
up.
him though. I don't
boys up.
coach at CCD.
Now, though, you can text the coach.
You guys can be their internal scouts, throughout the high school ranks.
We're the scouts.
Add that to my Instagram bio, Cal State Bakersfield internal scout.
There you go.
Master of technique at Granite Hill.
All right, 138s. Lemus and Mantanona. That was a pretty sweet match.
Yeah.
Lemus looked really good and obviously earned it.
I think he's my favorite wrestler of the tournament.
Yeah. I think it was pretty cool. Just watching him, especially knowing because he lost to him before. I think I read something where I think Tirapelli tweeted that he kind of just was telling, like, he's kind of just been doing his own thing, just shooting a whole bunch and not necessarily picking his spots.
Yep.
But looking at that match, he definitely made that adjustment, really picked the spots. And Mantanona just kept trying to, I think, force scrambles that weren't there.
Yep.
Instead of just going baseline defense.
He looked. I mean, maybe this was a whole Palm Desert thing, but of just observing their finals matches, they looked flat. The heavyweight, flat. Bo, flat. Brock, flat. Like Brock looked like he was wrestling like lazy the whole time. Like he would just get on his leg and he would just lay there like on his hip. I'm like, you're not even trying to defend. Like, I don't know. Seemed off. I think he's a better
You're doing
wrestler.
jujitsu.
You know what
I
it
don't know
is?
what it was. I don't know. But
It's all
What are you
scripted.
doing?
scripted.
All scripted, dude.
I think that post was pretty sweet by Tierpelli though. That was pretty cool. Like the whole picture and the word, and I don't know. That was awesome.
Yeah, that
Definitely
was-
good story.
that
Yeah,
was a
great
uh,
pictures from that night.
Oh, we'll get there, Brian.
We'll get there next, Brian.
We're almost there, bud. Just hold off, okay?
What else surprising here? Paul Kelly, I think, had a really good tournament. He's
Yeah.
lit the backside up and
Really good too. Like
gave
he's
Brock a good match in the semis.
wrestling tough right now. I'm really glad Justin Wells got on the podium for the first time from Lakeside down in Southern Section. Kid's really good kid, really solid wrestler. Would like to see him land at a tough, D1 program. I don't know
Yeah.
where he's gonna go, but really good wrestler. I think he's got
one in Navy. I could be wrong. He was talking about that beginning of the year when we
also
saw him.
where's Hercules Windrath going?
Found I don't know. Is he a senior?
I think he's a senior, but they have like 4 Oklahoma coaches on their staff, so I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to Oklahoma.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of depends on. I don't know
he's
what
a
Oklahoma's
junior.
lineup looks like. What weight would he wrestle in college? 41s, 49s?
41s probably.
He's a junior, and I don't believe he hasn't made a decision at this point.
He also cut a lot, I swear. I think he was at 52s at this preseason.
He was at 60s in the preseason, and then he wrestled 52s at
Super 32.
Yeah, and he also wrestled 52s last year in season. He was 2-2 at state at 52s last year.
Wow. All right, moving on to Brian's favorite weight class of the evening.
We can skip this one.
No, let's talk about it. Your match got me so excited, and I wasn't even in it. We were up next. I think you got me going.
Yeah, it was fun.
Walk us through it, Brian. How was it?
Give us the story.
Yeah, so it's for one, like I'm standing next to Carlo and Miguel, and we're in the tunnel, and I'm kind of going back and forth looking at Lemus and Mantanona wrestle, and then looking at Miguel and Root, and Miguel is just looking at him like this, just dead, just shaking his arms out. Like they're like, I mean, I can't do it on here, but they're like not that far apart. And Miguel is just looking at him, just dead, and Carlo is we're watching the match. And then I kind of like look, and then Carlo like looks, and he looks at me, and then we're both just like trying not to laugh just because like, dude, he's such a savage, man. Like he's such a savage. Like I like it, I don't think it necessarily bothers everyone. It's kind of like I remember hearing Thomas Gilman say when he wrestled Ramos, because that's kind of why Miguel does that. He does it. That's where he learned it. It's from Ramos. But just that stare, that stare down. And Gilman's like, yeah, if you don't look him back in the eyes, like, how does he know if he got you or not? But I mean that was cool. I think where Miguel shines the most is on his feet. Like he is it's really hard to score on. He is naturally very strong. He's got short limbs, so it's kind of hard for him to finish. But he is just so strong once he gets both hands to the leg, puts it in his armpit. It's hard to stop. And he kept getting to his high crotch. And the last time they wrestled, Root did a really good job with thumb blocking. So just using that thumb block, okay, they're thumb blocking. We need to come to the outside. We need to snap it and then create offense from there. And then ultimately he hit an inside tie. He faked, pulled on the head when Root reacted. When that leg came back, he hit it again, got to it. Root must have some really good hips, right? He must have some really good hips. And Miguel just somehow was able to step in front, big lift, puts him down hard. And literally it felt like the whole room like just erupted. Like just so much like just coming out. It was one of those things where I know that locked hands call. We saw it. Like I felt like it was locked hands. I mean, that's, it could have gone either way. I mean, at the end of it though, like what would it necessarily have changed? I'm not sure if it would have changed too much. And I know, Myers in the corner was kind of saying, just relax, you're fine. Because I think he kind of understood, like, we could still ride him out and then get out. And then we're going to have choice for ultimate ride out. And there, I mean, I don't know. They had, I think, I'm not sure if they had a stall call. I think they had a stall call. So I don't know. I don't know what would have happened, but, Miguel was just clutch, man. He's clutch. He's clutch when it's time, when the bright lights are on, it's time to go. He did it. And, I think it's just cool. It's just cool. It was just cool just being there. And I think, anybody can say that watched it. It was just cool just to be there. One of our teachers, was asking me, I was like, that's so cool. Like, I was trying to follow the score and I couldn't really understand like what happened. I'm like, you had to be there. What's funny too, and Brady, you would get this. Sean, I don't think you would. But that moment where like, we're kind of like the coaches are flexing in the corner, that picture. So we have our WASC accreditation right now. And our principal, like we always do a really good job. We get the 6-year accreditation thing. And it's like, our principal, when we get the 6-year accreditation, just like the meme moment.
Yeah.
So it was funny. But dude, it was just a cool moment, man. I'm just glad I got to be
Me
there.
and Sean were like right next to each other, just standing there, like same thing, kind of like you guys were. All right, just kind of like watching. All right, look back at the match, like watching. Okay, look back. And I mean, in my head, I was thinking, okay, crap. Like, I don't know, what was there? 15 seconds left, maybe, when he kind of got in on that shot, 10 or 12.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot.
And
There wasn't a lot.
I was just thinking, like, all right. I mean, before he took the shot, I'm like, shoot, this, like, if this plays out, I would say it's in favor of Root because he's got choice in triple overtime, right? So I'm thinking, crap, like this is not good. I want, this is not an ideal situation for my friend Brian. And then he just takes this nice high C. I don't know what was going in Miguel's head looking back. Like, did you talk to him and be like, hey, what was his thought process there? Like,
I think he just knew he was gonna win. Like he just knew he was gonna win. Like the last time they wrestled, I think there was some doubt, right? Just because he's still coming back from injury, like he's still a little banged up. This is gonna be really his first challenging match that he's really had. And he didn't really look that great, that whole tournament at Temecula. Didn't get the best warm up, even though I knew him. Like, dude, you need to make sure you're warm. And I think that was a learning moment for him. And I think sometimes the best lessons are one that you kind of learn through failure. He knew he was going to get the takedown, and he kind of looked back in the corner and it was just go get a takedown. And he's like, yeah. And then he just went and got a takedown. Mm-hmm. He can do that whenever he wants. I mean, literally, like, you look at like some of his matches, even like his state semis this year and last year, he gets to people's legs so often. And when he like really decides to put it on, like he can just go and get takedowns almost. It seems at will. I think it's just.
I'm for sure. I mean, I've watched him a lot because obviously we kind of studied him a little bit because we were, he was at the same weight class as us. So
I told you guys didn't believe me. I told you he was going to go down.
Hey, you shut up.
Yeah, shut up.
In your semis match, I think you guys got hosed a little bit. Luckily, it turned out the right way, but I think you turned around to us and we were literally standing right behind you. And I was like, dude, just get to his legs. Like, you just keep firing off shots. And you're like, Miguel, get to his legs. Let's go. Like, and he just fired off like 3 shots and just took him down. I mean, he was relentless.
Yeah, I think Barbosa, I mean, that was his last chance, and after that, he was not trying to wrestle.
No, he did that against
Carl was going to go. I think I couldn't remember if he was going to go challenger or not. I'm like, dude, he's just going to go get another takedown, and he did. It was kind of like the same thing almost. Just, all right, I'm just going to take you down.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool. No, it's funny. Oren commented, he called him the overtime monster. And of course, it went to overtime again.
And don't forget, Root and Miguel are both Wisconsin commits together.
Yeah, so I mean that kind of adds to the story, right? So they're both juniors. They both committed to Wisconsin. They were both getting recruited at the same time. I think there was some pressure. I think maybe from both of them. I mean, I don't want to speak too much on it, but I think there was some pressure where it's like, okay, go ahead. Go ahead. I think I know what you're going to ask. Go ahead. Ask it.
Hot take. Miguel decommits and goes to Iowa.
So I don't think that's not going to happen. Miguel is
Ooh.
a man of his word, like straight up. Like
Ooh.
because he's going to do something, he does it. I think the only way that would happen is if something happened with Wisconsin. Like it wouldn't come from Miguel. It wouldn't
Yeah.
come from anyone else. Like I was like, what if Penn State comes knocking, or what, somebody else comes knocking, or they promise you the world, and he's like, no. I
Hey,
committed to
what?
them.
Tell me just a little rabbit story about Miguel's little favorite treat, because I caught a little glimpse of something over throughout the tournament.
What'd you see?
Has he got some beast mode inside of him, or what? Some Marshawn
His
Lynch?
favorite treat?
Yeah.
Like what he snacks on?
Yep.
Okay, so I'll do a quick story. So he goes to Virginia during I think COVID. So this was kind of like right when I was like going to be a part of the team when I was switching schools, and I think Carlo, I think it was I think it was Carlo at the TSA, but they go through and you have your carry on, so he puts it through and the thing starts like going off. Right. And they're like, dude, what the hell do you have in your bag? And he kind of like looks at Carlo and kind of like does that. And the freaking guy has gloves on. He puts them on. He opens up the bag. He pulls out 1, 2 giant bags of Sour Patch Kids. And they're like, Miguel, what are you doing? And he goes, well, I didn't know like if you're gonna have it like there, like where I could get them. That's a snack, dude. Like that's a snack. It's like Marshawn Lynch and the sour Skittles. Like that's just what he snacks on. And it's funny because he's such a dork. Like he's such a dork.
So
He
Fine,
likes
when are you
anime. Like
eating them?
he likes Sour Patch Kids. He's super nice. He's always like helping people until it's time for battle, and then
So
he switches it. He switches
during
like that.
during warmups, I think it was like day 2. I think it might have been day 3, but him and Carlo are kind of down there. He's just kind of doing his little thing, and that's why I think I was texting you like, where are you at, or something like that. And
Oh, is that when I was trying to find a warm up?
yeah, so that
Yeah.
was right after, but he was just kind of chilling there, and he was just kind of doing this little mean mug kind of warm up thing. And then Carlo walks over with this huge bag of Sour Patch Kids, and just like Miguel's sitting there like on his knees, and he just like puts it on his bag, and Miguel just had like this puppy dog smile, just like, yes, like I just got.
So I brought a bunch of bags too. So like he had like too much and he was like trying to give them away. And I was like, dude, I'll just hold on to them because I know you're gonna go through those 2 bags pretty quick. That's just what he snacks on, man.
That's
And
crazy.
like I give him crap, just because like, dude, once you get into college, like I don't know how Bono and Reader are gonna be feeling about that. Like they might tell you one thing now, like, oh, that's cool, you got your little thing. Until you get there and like, dude, you need to like stick to the nutrition plan, like listen to what the nutritionist says and not eat that. But I don't know. I mean, that's his thing, and whatever. I mean, if that's the one bad thing he puts in his body, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it was fun. I was really impressed with Bo Priest.
Yeah. His match with Alexander
he wrestled Root pretty hard, and then that big I think he picked him up and put Alexander down to his back, right?
Yep.
Pretty dope. And then battles back to get third. I mean, that's pretty tough.
I think the only other like surprising here was Parco taking, I think, what, 5th or 6th? 5th.
Did you see his quarters loss to Barbosa with the fleeing the mat call?
Yeah, that's kind of what got me worried. Like I know, like I mean, I don't know if this is a secret, but like I guess the strategy to beat good wrestlers is just to not wrestle on your feet, not give up takedowns, and then just be tough on top, mat return, and get out on bottom. Like that's kind of like I think how you beat guys that are really good on their feet. It's just being really stingy on the mat and be obviously stingy, like I said, on your feet. And that Parco match, I think he gets a pretty quick takedown. And then he's unable to ride Barbosa out. Barbosa gets out right away. And, I think I can't remember exactly what happened. I think Barbosa gets out again. No, he rides Parco second period. Just mat returns, and then gets out in the third to tie it up. And then they go into overtime. And I think I didn't actually see the sequence, but they called, I think, fleeing the mat or stalling. I don't remember which one, but Parco kind of went towards the edge, but he kind of went like an L shape. Like he kind of swung his body back into position, where I wouldn't necessarily call that a fleeing the hold, right? If you're coming back into face, you're not running out of bounds. It's not blatant, flagrant running out of bounds, which is what I don't think it was. But I don't know. I think
Especially
with
in the
those kinds of
situation,
matches,
too.
let him wrestle.
Yeah, that's the thing, is in that situation, you got to let him wrestle. And
Unless
that
it's flagrant,
sucks.
right?
But they got to re-wrestle for 5th, 6th, and Parco got him there. So he got some redemption, but definitely didn't, Parco, I kind of thought him and Miguel would have a very interesting semifinal match. I truly didn't know who I mean, obviously I would have thought Miguel would have the slight edge, but Parco's really good. And he didn't have the best weekend. It happens. Let's move on. We're slowing down.
52s.
Mm,
Before we talk about Guffey, I thought is it Kikanu? I don't know how you pronounce his name, the Poway guy. He's pretty tough, man.
Yeah.
He's a tough customer.
yeah, good Greco guy. Greco World champ.
Yeah, I thought potentially, when we wrestled, so we wrestled him and Rude at Temecula, and I thought, yeah, this guy is definitely possibly a state placer, which I think they probably obviously thought that too. So they're like, hey, Poway, from Poway's perspective, we could get a guy on the podium at 52s. If Root can go down to 45s, we can get a champ at 45s. I'm sure that's what their thought process was.
Agreed. I think for Root to win a state title, it was at 45s, and not because anyone else at like Guffey or anyone's at 52s, but you got Bo, and I think that was kind of just
the thought process.
Yeah.
This
went fairly close to seed. The top 5 being seed correctly, and then you had the 7 seed take 6th. I don't know what array was seeded.
He was up there. I think he was a 6th.
I think was a top 10 guy. I know.
No, I think he was 11 seed. He was 11.
Who was the 6?
6 was Quintana, I think.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. What happened to him? He lost in round 12.
Got upset to Kikanu.
Who did he lose to in the backside?
Oh, I didn't see the backside route.
No, he didn't even make the blood round. He lost he lost in the round of 16.
So that guy ended up making the blood round. Remember?
Yeah.
Dude, wait, round of 32, Quintana wrestled Kikanu. Damn.
Yeah.
That's a tough round of 32.
Yeah.
That sucks. What was Kikanu? What was he at?
He wasn't seated
high
because he didn't really have any quality wins.
He beat the 16 and then he beat the 6, then the 11, and then he lost to
and he lost in our Masters semis to Tyler Brown from Mission Hills.
Yep.
Up going 2-2, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. The way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, some good wrestlers here. Obviously, Quintino and Fernandez are both very good. Max Martinez, obviously, is like a California legend based off of his youth days, who's now a 2-time state placer. And he was obviously super banged up as well, super injured, wrestling through it. Him and Collins' match was interesting in the semis. I had a theory going into it that they weren't going to shoot. They were going to try and bait Collin into shots, try to score from front head, down block, go behind, stuff like that. I was correct, but I also thought they weren't going to shoot on Collin because his leg was hurt. I thought, he's got that huge knee brace on. he had a 6-3 match with Kikanu in the quarterfinals, where he took injury time for his leg. So I kind of figured like, all right, he's probably not going to shoot on Colin. He doesn't take a single shot the entire match. We win 2-0. And then he has to wrestle Fernandez and Contino on the backside, and he freaking takes those guys down with like, I don't know, I wouldn't say with ease, but he was getting to his attacks a little bit more than he was against Colin. So I don't know if it was an injury thing or if they just didn't want to shoot on Colin because of his scrambling ability. Maybe DC will enlighten us one day.
60s.
Yep.
Yeah, you talk about. I mean, so how do you? What was the conversation with Guffey after the finals?
Well, going into it, it was pretty much take it to him. You have nothing to lose. This guy's over 2 at the state meet, and all the pressure's on him. So freaking let it fly. After the match, it was like, I think it hit Colin harder because he realized like, damn, he was actually like really, really, really close to winning that match. I mean, if anyone saw in this third period, he gets a 2-on-1 tilt and he starts that roll. And Colin doesn't do that unless he has it. Like he doesn't just hit that roll if he doesn't have that wrist. And when he started to roll, I was like, oh, he has it. Like it's there. He doesn't get it. And then Bo kind of just clammed up for the last minute 30. And only got one stall call, which I couldn't understand. I feel like, some people ask me, why didn't you cut him? And I was like, well, we got to his legs, I think 4 times and didn't score once off of 4 of our own attacks. If we cut him, we go down 3-0. So now we need 2 takedowns just to tie it. Had we gotten an extra stall call sooner, which I think was more deserving, I think, yeah, then we maybe cut him to try to take him down, make it 3-3. But
Did you feel like Mantanona was tired? In the
no,
third?
I don't think he was tired.
I don't think he was
He
tired. I
just-
think he
he's-
was
I'm
just
just gonna stall it out.
I think he was like, I don't know. It was weird. I think Colin took it to him in the first period, and I think it might have spooked him a little bit.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know. I honestly, if I'm in the corner, I don't know. I mean, I just think with Colin's skill set, I don't know. Does he have any kind of feet to back stuff? Like generally speaking, when you're down 2, like you go up on your feet because you just have more options to put somebody to their back, and it's easier to get a turn from off of a takedown.
yes, but Colin's best position is top, so it's like,
Yeah.
well, he's in his best position to score points, and so we kept him there.
Yeah, especially with how good Bo scrambles. It's like realistically, we had to take him down twice. I know you could say we could put him on his back, but that's a long shot. But just taking him down,
You get a stall.
you could get a stall, but then we still have to get 2 takedowns.
Yeah.
And he could just eat up time, just scrambling on a leg and just hang on kind of like the first period did. I don't know. I feel like we out wrestled him. We just gave up a position, gave up two good near fall off of it. And, that was the difference of the match. So I think we told him to keep his head up. Nothing to be ashamed of. You lost to the number 1 kid in the nation, not just in our state. And I feel like we out wrestled him. So we got time to come back next year, get our state title. And yeah, keep going.
Where do you think Colin's going to go next year? 57, 65, 75?
Brian, we're playing this game with you.
I don't care, man. Like,
dude.
he's not going to go down.
You messed with us, we're messing with you. This is only retaliation.
All right, just tell me the 13 weights he's not going to wrestle.
I do think he'll be definitely bigger.
I mean, I'll tell you, I'll go inside scoop for inside scoop.
No.
I mean, I just as a show of good faith, I think
let's move on.
Miguel, he's considering 44. He might start at 50 and then go down.
Weight changes next year should be interesting. Side note, because it doesn't really have to relate to next season. What does Miguel want to wrestle in college? 41s or 49s?
49s.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think just with his body type, he probably fits more at 41s. He's not going to get any
Good at
taller.
49s.
He's not
Huh?
tall enough,
He
Brady.
fits good at 49s. He's like a Yaya Thomas or like a
I think he's
Pat
way
Lugo.
smaller than
Panero
He's-
Johnson.
he's way smaller than Yaya, in my opinion.
I don't think
Yeah, I
so.
don't know. I mean, he's pretty strong.
Oh, for sure.
I mean,
the
I think he's
strength's
gonna,
there.
it might be tough wrestling longer guys, but either way, you gotta keep developing your style.
He-
Really good underhooks, really good inside ties, good chop drags.
He reminds
I
me
think
of like
developing
a
top position and being able to get out bottom against good guys. I think it's what's gonna help him next
he
level.
has like a Cole Matthews build, in my opinion, for 41s.
Yeah, I mean that would be up to him and be up to his coaches. And I think they would get it wherever he goes. I think Wisconsin has nutritionists, so we'll figure it out.
No
Might
doubt.
make it if he cuts out the Sour Patch Kids.
The Sour Patch Kids, yeah. You better be careful, dude. I'm gonna set them loose on you.
I talked to him
Jack
after
you up,
the
Sean.
I talked to him after the tournament. I'm not scared.
Yeah,
All right,
don't let his
60.
nice guy act fool you. He will has no problem killing you.
160s.
165 then, that's where he's going. I knew it.
Ruiz, stud,
Ruiz, beast. Really good. Gonna be good in college too.
really good in college.
Ruiz is good.
I wish Colin could have wrestled him. I would have liked to have seen that.
Well, if he goes to Stanford and Ruiz is going to ASU, right?
Yeah, I should see that
Yeah,
match.
so they might see each other.
Yeah. Posada from Poway, makes to the finals, avenges the loss to Dylan Pyle from Los Gatos in the semis 2-0.
Yeah, they wrestled at Temecula.
Yep.
And Pyle kind of took it to him a little bit.
Yeah, 4-0, rode him out really tough. Yeah, got that one back. Mason Espinoza, third, Pyle fourth, Joe Buck fifth, Jake Honey sixth, David Alonso seventh. Was surprised for that one. David
I
Alonso,
wasn't surprised. I called that.
he's a tough Palm Desert kid, no doubt. He's been wrestling this season up at 70s most of the year. He last season was at 45s and he didn't even make the state tournament, and he was like a top 15 guy. Didn't make the state tournament, got fell victim to that tough Southern Section Masters tournament. And then this year qualifies, drops to 160s. Him and McCown kind of do a late season switcheroo. And he gets on the podium. So it obviously paid off for Palm Desert.
Yeah, good for him. He's a tough cat.
70s.
Let's go
70s.
70s. Are we speed running now?
60s is kind of boring. What's his name? Just smoked everyone.
Ruiz. Hey, who do you think is the best wrestler in the tournament?
Like pound for pound.
Yeah.
It's safe to say Condon.
Yeah, I'd say Condon.
But
Condon by a mile.
I think
mile? I'll say this about Condon because
I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong because there's a guy that tech falled a guy in the finals and looked like.
Yeah, but do you think that guy's pound for pound the best wrestler in the tournament?
Okay, I mean, no disrespect to Swan, but he's not the most like dynamic wrestler.
No, for sure.
So he got a pin in the finals, pin in the semis, pin in the quarterfinals, pin in the round 16,
and a major.
Only a major against a Frontier guy in round 32. But yeah, I don't know. I
It comes
think
down to two people for me because you have to, if you're going to go pound for pound the whole body of the state of California, you have to take more into consideration than just the state tournament. And for me, Condon and Ruiz are my 1 and 2. And Bo would probably be a 3 based off of Bo's performance at state. I'm going to knock him off my list. And I'd go with either Ruiz or Condon. They both had, pins in the finals. They both.
I would just say best guy in the tournament, like how he looked, how he wrestled.
I think you're right there. Okay, pound for pound overall, I wouldn't say him, but who performed the best at the state tournament and dominated?
He just looked freaking good.
Condon, for sure. No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I mean, he took it to Swan. I think people keep saying, yeah, he pinned him in that, leg pass, scramble situation, but Luke also took him down right before that and then cut him.
Twice.
And was about to take him down again. So I think Luke came out ready to freaking rock. And I was talking to someone about this earlier today, actually. I watched him at Reno and watched him at Doc, and I was in person for both of those tournaments. At State, being Matt side, he looked even bigger than he did at those previous tournaments. And I don't know if that was the 2-pound allowance coming into effect and just getting added muscle throughout the season. But yeah, he looked like a scary 170 on the third day of the state tournament. And obviously he was on a terror path because he destroyed everyone.
I think he would be a fun guy to wrestle with.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think he'll be successful. I think he'll be successful in college. Which I'm
He's
really excited
too, right?
Yeah, you don't see a lot of Poway guys, and not just Poway guys, but San Diego guys be successful in college. Obviously, the most notable one of late is Abbas up at Stanford. But
No, he's a Bakersfield guy, homie.
Oh, sorry. Where'd he graduate?
State finals for Frontier.
But yeah, I just want to see more guys from San Diego go out there and compete at the next level, and I'll root for him. So.
Yep.
McCown coming in third. He had a good match with Swan. He loses 5-0. It was a little bit closer than that score.
Garcia beat Reyes.
Yeah, that was a big win.
Who is the most overrated wrestler in the tournament?
Overrated wrestler?
Yeah.
Are we just talking about champions?
I'd say I don't know. I'm kind of a leading question. I think Reyes is way overrated. I don't think he generates really any offense. I've seen him take weird losses.
Yeah.
He's just a goon. He's strong. He's got a cool little Russian wrist snap.
I agree.
That's it.
I mean, he's kind of just wrestles in good position like Clovis does. And
yeah, I'd say he's maybe atypical Clovis style wrestler, strong, stays in position, can get out, can ride, can defend, and then has like a cool move.
Yeah.
82s. Probably my favorite weight of the tournament. Besides,
dude, I forgot about this weight.
This weight was freaking nuts. This weight, for those who don't know, had the most returning state placers in it. Had 2 returning state finalists who had to meet in the semifinals. Was just nuts. It was a nuts weight class.
I think the seating for this was bullcrap.
I agree.
I literally I thought I'm gonna pull it up. I thought the way that they had the rankings was fine. Like they had Kling at 1, they had Montero at 2, McDonald at 3, and Sandoval at 4, right? And then they freaking switch it last minute, right? There was no actual results that would have caused a switch. All these guys won their sectional tournament. McDonald won Southern, Ty won Central, Kling won Southern, right? I don't know. I just didn't think it made sense. And I was like, damn, that's the top part of the bracket is so much harder than, in my opinion, than the bottom part, right? The Ukaipa kid is tough, though he didn't even place. He made the quarters. The Vakovo kid knows how to wrestle, especially, I think, close matches. McDonald is tough. Roach is, a tough freshman. And then you look at the top side, you got Hodges, who's a freaking gamer. Kling, who's a returning state finalist. Munoz, who's strong, right? Maybe he's still not the best, I would say, college-ready wrestler, but he's strong. And then you got Montero, right? Dude, those 4 guys, I mean, in my opinion, those are the top 4 guys at the weight, other than McDonald.
Yeah, like you said earlier, it should have been McDonald and Kling in the semis, and then on the top side should have been Montero, Sandoval. I read something that said they didn't want to have Southern section guys wrestle in the semis and whatever, which is BS because it happens to every other section all the time. So I
And they
don't,
freaking split it at the damn Masters.
I don't
They
know.
split it. They should have just had them wrestle each other and it would have been settled.
I know. I'm with you.
That's bullshit.
So that was a little upsetting, but I know you had a good horse in the fight there. And
Yeah, I didn't see the result. Somebody
didn't-
told me.
he didn't look great. I like him. I was rooting for him, but after that quarterfinal match, I think me and Sean were like, wow, that was like, was it 12-8 or something like that? And we were like, that did
He
not
got
look
chin
like
whipped
the,
at the end.
yeah, and I don't know. Yeah. I don't know
Yeah,
what's,
I mean, I like the Monteros. I just, yeah, I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
just sad. I feel bad. That sucks.
all right, move on so we don't get sad.
The last thing I'll say about 82s is McDonald and Montero will get to watch them wrestle for years to come, being Stanford and Oregon State. So that rivalry is not going anywhere.
It's not done yet.
Yeah, Merrill beat Morin in the semis.
Rubber
I'm
plug.
not really that. I mean, I don't know. I don't think Merrill just looking at him, he doesn't really pass the eye test in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, he, honestly, neither does Morin. But yeah, I don't know. Merrill made the finals.
This was a tough weight. There was obviously some good guys here. But yeah, I mean, Marin's been beating dudes pretty much all year. Merrill kind of came in as a dark horse. Everyone knew he was going to cause havoc. And when I saw the early matchup with Ayala, I was like, that's insane. Ayala's going to lose that. Sure enough, he does. And then Merrill makes it all the way to the finals. And then I don't know, he just seemed flat in the finals a little bit.
That's the way he wrestles, though. He just wrestles that Greco like push, shove, get out, and try to get a takedown. But he didn't get I mean, when you're in overtime, I mean, any one good shot ends the match, and that's what happened.
Yeah. Robert Platt, the 6th seed from San Diego, Brawley High School, gets a state title. He's only a junior. Really long and lanky kind of guy, wrestles on a knee, wrestles like a lightweight, scrambles, leg passes, leg attacks, all that stuff. And he had a good tournament. 5-1 win over Whitworth in the semis is super solid, and then just getting it done in overtime against Merrill. Can't really ask for much more than that.
Yeah.
Talk of this weight was Eugenio Franco from Corona del Mar, losing first round and going on an absolute trailblazer through the backside to come in 3rd place. Pretty impressive. I think someone said he had 8 matches on the backside.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. So he lost to a freshman from RFK. Kind of like it's I think it's in Delano.
yeah. He got chin whipped from what I saw.
Chin whipped.
Dude, that RFK kid's tough.
Yeah. And then our boy Alex Encarnacion had a freshman state placer, David Calkins, snuck in there on the 8th spot. That's huge. You don't really see freshmen placing at 195. Kid's going to be a problem. His sister was a state champ the year before, and she's now at Iowa. So we'll see if he follows in Sissy's footsteps and heads in that direction. He's got a couple years to do it.
Yeah.
220.
20s.
It's a Hockeyan. Dude's a monster.
Yeah. Imagine having that guy in the room every day.
I'd be down.
You got to hit up Tank Knowles. Let's get him on here. Let's ask him how he recovers after live goes with Sahakian.
I mean, I'm sure he feels it, but Tank can move, man. That guy, he still got it. No question about it. I'm sure he manhandles that guy.
Yeah, this weight is I mean, it's kind of like all the upper weights, like anything can kind of happen at any time. The Clovis West guy, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. He ended up getting hurt. He didn't qualify. Clovis East had a quarterfinalist who didn't even end up placing, but Kuntz is tough. Didn't end up placing. Murillo, I thought, hey, this is kind of your chance. I honestly thought he could probably wrestle with Sahakian or however you pronounce his name. I don't know. But yeah, freaking Kenan Campbell got him. He got him in the semis. And Murillo, wrestled them before. I think they wrestled at Masters, and Murillo, kind of did fine. But you know, it's the state tournament and kind of anything happens. He got into the semis.
Yeah.
Not really much else to talk about this weight, man.
No, not much else really.
Yeah, it was a kind of a 3-horse race, but mainly Sahakian leading the charge. And he's only a
Sophomore, I think.
Jesus Christ. Oh man.
Lamone from Clovis at heavyweights. He ends up
what?
getting hurt,
What
which
happened?
sucks. I like Lamone. Again, he's another Frontier Elite Force Bakersfield guy. His dad got a job up at Clovis, and yeah, so they moved up there. But I think after the finals, so the finals, that's a repeat of last year, right?
Yeah.
Herrera pinned Hinojosa though in the finals last year, didn't he?
Correct. And
And
then
then this year it's 3-2.
like,
I mean, I wasn't really paying attention to the match too much, but I know you guys said he Herrera looked flat.
He just
super-
gassed out after the first period.
yeah.
Classic.
Yep.
Classic. What was Hinojosa saying after the match? He was like, "I don't care. I am the champion," or something like that, right?
He said, I think, because I think like Herrera's ranked like 6th in the nation, I think, at heavyweight. And I think he was like, I don't care what he's ranked, number 6, whatever. And he just like put his glasses on it and like
Dude, that was sick.
That was
The
pretty cool.
glasses were sick. I don't know what he was saying, but I
The
just
glasses on and walk
Yeah,
out.
I like it.
I thought it was cool.
The crowd liked it, so I mean that's pretty cool.
The fan favorite. He's a senior, right?
I don't
I
know.
believe so. I believe so. Herrera's a junior, but I'm pretty
Hey,
sure.
they, you know how they had like weird brackets before, like not the year like they normally do for state. They changed it, so it's all back to the way they used to have it, where they have like the grade and this everything like all there.
Yeah.
But they didn't have that at the beginning, like during state, and now they went back and they changed it to the way it should be and the way it has always been. So now you can go and see everyone's grade and place and all that good stuff, all in the bracket.
I'm there right now.
Yeah. So that's cool.
All right,
Uh-huh.
guys. Well, that's all I got. I'm tired. I got more in practice tomorrow.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
any
Sorry.
final words?
Yeah. Sorry for taking time off, but we obviously had postseason and the recovery of postseason. So we'll
Let's
be
get
back.
How was
at
your
later.
recovery, Sean? You had a good vacation?
it. It wasn't much of a vacation, but taking a week away from the room has been nice. So but what to look forward for, we have NCAAs coming out, brackets drop tomorrow. I'm
Bro,
sure we'll get on next week and we'll talk about it and we'll do some predictions as well as our fantasy draft that we do. It's the 3 of us and 7 other of our friends. We basically draft an entire lineup. And we take the team points that each wrestler accumulates during the tournament, add it up at the end and see whose team came out on top. It's really fun. So we'll keep you guys posted on how we do with that.
Should we record the draft?
No, but we could. I mean,
let's talk about it after.
to be
Okay.
told.
All right.
All right.
Good night.
Later, simple men.
Signing off.
Simple.